Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Hope everybody is having a happy holiday season after a chaotic Heat fan Christmas that hit everybody up yesterday. I didn't feel like from the video we recorded yesterday that there were too many updates regarding the Jimmy Butler saga, other than he is still currently listed as doubtful for tonight's game against the Orlando Magic. Miami Heat are in Orlando. He did not travel with the team. They did the same report that they had a couple of Magic games ago where they said, hey, he could join the team the next day. I'm not holding my breath for it, but we'll see. I do want to just say, again, just to clarify this, because I don't like questioning anybody's health or if they're able to go or if they're faking it. I'm just telling you it looks weird. That's all. And, you know, if Jimmy Butler was in the midst of trying to, push or nudge the Heat towards making a move, you know, then this would certainly be a way to do it. It's not like we haven't seen other stars do it before. But there were reports, I saw Ethan Skolnick report that he was told Jimmy Butler has been getting IV treatments during his absence from the court, and that the Miami Herald reported that Jimmy Butler is now with the team. He's listed as doubtful with a return to competition and reconditioning. He did not accompany the team. A source insists he has been genuinely ill. Which, all right, I'm taking everybody's word for it. I'll leave it at that. I'll take everybody's word for it. I hope Jimmy Butler gets super better, and I hope that when he is able to play, he can play with the Miami Heat. I'm just, you read all the stuff that the Herald reported yesterday, and that was the other thing. Everybody was like, oh, why are you believing Shams? Why are you believing in Shams? Why is it? First of all, I probably would have been more skeptical of Shams if all that was reported in the Herald wasn't reported yesterday, which was that, Jimmy Butler was disappointed that the Miami Heat didn't deny any trade rumors. Jimmy Butler not showing up to Christmas, to the Christmas party. That there has apparently been some growing frostiness. There have been guys, boots on the ground, locally with the Heat, that have reported that things haven't been going great over the last couple of weeks, or feelings have maybe gotten a little bit more frosty over the initial trade reports with Shams. And we played you that clip yesterday. So, look, guys, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a rush to do this. I don't know. But I will say, it was Anthony and Barry's reporting yesterday that really got me more worried than the Shams thing. The Shams thing, I don't think it's nothing that he reports it, because he's just saying he put the terms in escalation, and you do have local reports. Now, I've seen that Ethan reported that no team has even made an offer reportedly on his side for Jimmy Butler, which obviously puts everything in a kind of a weird case, because, you have supposedly the Suns are interested, supposedly the Warriors are interested, but nobody's really made a formal offer on it. Maybe they don't think the Heat are really open to it. I don't know. And that's why, it's kind of critical to know, what is Jimmy Butler going to be like when he next plays for the Miami Heat, which just kind of lingers out there. It kind of just sits there as until it happens. Do I think Jimmy Butler's going to get out on the court and dog it? No, he's not that kind of a player, I don't think. But until we see it, until we know with all of this still hanging, then it kind of just remains a thing. Maybe it just goes back to the way that it was before, and he had some excellent games even with the initial Shams reports. His last game was, by some metrics, his best regular season game, and he told you he despises losing. But the other interesting thing is, I don't like the fodder back and forth talking about Butler's credentials as a Heat player, and is he legendary enough to do this? Dude, he is the franchise guy over the last 6 years. I don't really understand what the Heat fan is doing, trying to compare him to D Wade and being like, he's not D Wade. Okay, but one, The Heat did have a bad breakup with D Wade. It was not great. That probably also had some more personal stuff with Pat Riley that he really should have gotten over and made a critical mistake. Place was a funeral when D Wade left, and ironically, it led the Heat to getting Jimmy Butler in a big way. D Wade's so critical in hand of so many of the elite things that have happened to the Miami Heat. But for any Heat fan who's trying to diminish what Jimmy Butler has done and everything that Jimmy Butler has contributed, I don't know what you're doing. I really, really don't. I understand the frustration of hey, he misses a lot of regular season games. He misses a lot of regular season games. He has always missed a lot of regular season games. He is not. There's a reason it's known as playoff Jimmy. But he knows when to turn it on when it matters. It didn't work out for them last year. He got hurt in the play-in game. It's unfortunate. But for me, that doesn't wipe away everything that he has done with the Miami Heat. As far as, there's also been the narrative of, hey, have the Heat failed Jimmy Butler? I think that the Heat have known for a while that, for the Heat to have their two chess moves in this Jimmy Butler era, their major swings be Kyle Lowry, which is what Jimmy Butler wanted. They even got busted or slapped on the wrist for tampering for Kyle Lowry to make sure they got Kyle Lowry. And then, for me, the biggest whiff's going to be, all right, you never really upgraded from that. You knew you had genuine interest around, and then you just kept spending more assets to get somebody like Terry Rozier, who kind of feels like he's on the outs. Who just has a peak as a player. He's a good player, but he's not a star. And, that just I don't think in the eyes of anybody that was good enough. It was a necessary upgrade, I guess, for where you were at with Kyle Lowry, but I don't understand why they had to attach a pick to it. That to me was crazy. So, in breakups, everyone can have their sides to it, and do I understand the Miami Heat saying, hey, I don't want to pay $60 million for a guy who misses a ton of games. He's about to miss his eighth game if he misses tonight against the Magic, and no sign of it not getting to double digits by the end of the week. Isn't that kind of Pat Riley's point of, hey man, and he's gotten banged up already. That is Pat Riley's point. How can I invest in a guy and give money to a guy who very clearly his body can't hold up? It's a fair argument. It is. It's not the nice thing to do. It's the cutthroat thing to do. Probably why I'm not a good general manager and why I've said the entire time to pay Jimmy Butler. But this is kind of the Heat's point, is we're sitting here and Jimmy Butler is already missing, a third of the games with plenty of more of the season to go. We've just gotten past Christmas. On Jimmy's side of things, he said, oh, you've extended Bam Adebayo without even blinking. Understand the age. He's statistically having his worst season. And you think that he's going to be the torchbearer. He's going to be the guy to carry you. Where's my make good? Where's my little sweetener? And, that's why I think we're at where we're at. So in breakups, there's going to be a lot of bad points. Pat Riley's definitely had some whiffs. Does the team have a point of being skeptical of paying a guy like this with his age? Yeah, certainly. I don't think I don't think you could say that they're completely in the wrong there. I don't love the fact that everybody in those rafters, other than Udonis, has had some kind of a bad hiccup with the franchise at some point. To their credit, it does seem like they can build those bridges back up after they're burned initially. But it's not a great place to be right now if you're a Heat fan. I do think this is a bit of a bummer on the season of where they're at. And we'll see. We'll see what the next move of this is. I think it really just has to do with when Jimmy's available again. Because I know that the Heat are trying to put up a strong front of they haven't gotten any deals. They're not looking for deals. They're not impatient to make deals. But it's obviously critical that Jimmy Butler gets back on the court when he's able to get back on the court. And that's the next thing that we got to look for. Actual Heat news today, not just fodder. The Miami Heat officially signed Keshad Johnson to a standard contract from Anthony Chang. Johnson will count $1.3 million towards the tax aprons this season. He has a team option in his contract for $2 million next season. It's a minimum deal. So congratulations to Keshad Johnson out of Arizona. Big wing guy, built like a moose. His numbers with the Skyforce were sick. Over 20 points, 8 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 1.5 steals in 34 minutes. Shot 55% from the field, just a tick under 40% from 3. He posted 3 double-doubles, totaled a plus 135 plus minus with the Sioux Falls Skyforce. So really, really, dominant stuff. I'm excited about this. Loved watching him in the summer league. I did not watch a ton of whole Sioux Falls games. I have watched YouTube, and I have watched Twitter highlights and things like that of Keshad. I've seen Keshad warm up a couple times before in pregame. And obviously, he has the relationship with Pelle. It's a very cool thing that he plays with his former college teammate in Pelle Larsson. I'm excited about this one. I think that, there was some talk out there, should the Heat go get another point guard to just replace what Dru Smith had? Dennis Smith Jr. was a popular name that was out there. Markelle Fultz was a popular name out there. I like the idea of going with Keshad. I think that Keshad has the skill sets that can be useful for this team this year and in years coming forward. Big guy, defend on the wing, stout, can play a lot of different positions. Spo even debuted him as a small ball 5, even though he's probably more of a 3-4 type of guy. Big wingspan. So very, very excited to see what Keshad brings to the table. The other move with that is they signed Isaiah Stevens to Keshad's 2-way deal. So just to recap for everybody, the Heat traded Thomas Bryant to the Pacers. It opened up a roster spot. The Heat needed to fill a roster spot within a certain amount of days. That day is coming up in 3 days. So they had to give a standard rate deal. Everybody thought it was going to go to Dru Smith. Dru Smith blew out his Achilles. Terrible, terrible moment. I mean, you couldn't feel worse for a good guy, and especially the season that he was having, playing with not only just playing great, playing with a swagger, playing with making it all the way back from already an ACL injury in his other leg. It's brutal what happened to Dru Smith. So Dru Smith will stay on the 2-way deal while he rehabs. The Heat moved Keshad up to the standard deal, and then that will make him now eligible to play in the postseason. And then they have signed Isaiah Stevens to Keshad Johnson's 2-way deal, and that will make him eligible, I believe, for 31 regular season games for the Miami Heat, averaging 13 points. He led the G League in assists, nearly 11 assists a game, which was more than assist over the number 2 guy, over 2 assists more than the 3 guy. Dude was dishing it out. And man, you can't speak enough to, one, what that team has done so far this season, getting on a good run. You can't say enough about what Coach Dan Bisacchio has been doing. Spo referred to him the other day as a psycho.
I know how Dan's wired. I mean, the guy's a psycho. So, I was begging him to come to our game. He's like, no, I gotta prep, and I trust him in his process more than I almost trust myself. Like he is detailed. He'll go through his checklist and all that, and he'll, damn for sure that they're going to be better, from this competition and all those experiences because of his leadership.
It's interesting with Coach Dan Bisacchio because it's like everybody has looked upon I'm not suggesting anybody's replacing anybody, but it is interesting that, you've had Chris Quinn kind of be exposed right-hand man for years and Caron Butler being on the front of the bench. But it is interesting, this guy, 10-Day Dan, who, would put on the jersey and, be in scrimmages to go crazy with everybody, to a point now where he led the team to a Summer League championship. He's doing fantastic with this roster that he's got. He's got the respect, obviously, of Eric Spoelstra. It'd be interesting to see what his future with the organization is, with what he's doing at a great rate, tremendously at a young age. So these are definitely, I think, the two guys I think that deserve it. Especially replacing that point guard role. If there's any more injuries, we know that Terry Rozier is dealing with a foot. You did have Josh Christopher the other day up with the big club. Will he get some more looks right now? So Josh Christopher and Isaiah Stevens are on the two ways, along with the Dru Smith spot. And you just think about like the idea that Terry's been in and out with the foot thing, been a little inconsistent. You do, from the defensive side of things, I think that like who's that two-way guy on the perimeter? I think it's going to be Pella. That they're going to try and be into the Dru Smith role. And Pella, was there before his injury, before that really opened up the door for Dru to emerge. But certainly, Spo had a trust in Dru Smith at a point this season that I don't know is going to be easily replaced. Not that it can't be replaced, but obviously he was one of the coach's more trusted players in this whole regard. So we'll have to see how that all plays out for Miami, and then to see what Keshad's role is. His time with Sioux Falls isn't necessarily done, because I think he probably could be sent down just like Kalel was. But all right, the Heat obviously see that he's done enough. He was up with the team. He's gotten a couple of spot minutes here and there, but that he can contribute from time to time. And the Heat have said with Keshad Johnson, they were shocked that they were even able to get him undrafted. They thought that for sure he was going to get drafted, and they really did feel like they stole another draft pick when it came to him. And now he gets his opportunity to prove it. So both Arizona Wildcats now on standard deals with Miami, and it's amongst all this among all this Jimmy Butler stuff that has been, I'm sure, frustrating for fans. That last game against the Nets, and I know it's against the Nets, but it was at least a glimpse of, all right, is Spo finally like he's trying some stuff now, right? We got Kalel and Nico playing at the same time. We're playing with a little bit more size. Everybody in the locker room afterwards is excited to play with the first round pick. It definitely feels like the talk has finally been had with Kevin Love of like where the role is at for him. And we'll just have to see. This is obviously with this Orlando Magic team, it's just like the Pistons game. It feels like you're returning to the scene of the crime. And the Heat were not able to get any revenge against Detroit the last time around. So this is a huge one tonight. A huge game for Miami against Orlando. Even with them being shorthanded, Miami really does need to get this one. Jimmy Butler, no Jimmy Butler. They need to, with Orlando dealing with the stuff they're dealing with as well. They need to definitely, right a wrong after what happened the last time around.